just sit there, untouched, and he'd go on as normal as ever for the rest of his life. He wasn't sure which was worse, actually. He tried not to think about it too much. He kept his shit together. He survived. By the end of his first tour, the other guys in his unit looked at him like a veteran. They depended on him. He was no longer just a placeholder. In fact, he was kind of a badass. After 3 years, he thought he'd seen it all. Which is why he was annoyed, but not surprised, when his unit was pulled off the active hunt for an Al-Qaeda cell and sent to this winter wonderland. The Army had its own way of doing things. Orders were orders. Wayne's CO had been more tight-lipped than usual, but the rumors made their way down. When Kosovo declared independence, that didn't go over too well with the Serb neighbors. A bunch of Serbian nationals walked past the shack that served as a border checkpoint and immediately began rioting in front of the U.S. Embassy. Some buildings got torched, and in the confusion, someone lost something important, something big. It turned up with the wolf pack, who offered it to the highest bidder. The U.S. wanted it back. Above all, the whole thing had to be kept quiet. The Rangers were good at quiet. After they got to Kosovo, they spent a day and a half tracking the Serbs, but when they found the wolf pack, they were told to stay back and wait. All the sergeant said was, "Move in, set up a ring, and make sure none of the Serbs left it." Questions were met with the kind of silence that implied a court-martial in the near future. The CO got a message from way up the chain of command. A flight came in from Ansbach in Germany, and he sent a couple of Rangers to the airfield. They came back with a duffel full of cash. Wayne figured it out then. The U.S. might not negotiate with terrorists, but it would sure as hell bribe them. He had seen plenty of it firsthand in Iraq, with CIA spooks giving away stacks of $100 bills stuffed in the aptly named Halliburton briefcases. Just one of those stacks could have bought his parents a new house, but the funds were earmarked for the people busy shooting at their son. The only other thing they brought back from the plane was what the Army called a transfer case, but everyone knew what it was, a casket used to take the bodies of dead soldiers home. It gave Wayne the creeps. He was glad to take his sniper position and get away from it. Wayne decided he hated this James Bond crap, but orders were orders. The sun dipped behind the empty buildings. It would be full dark in a matter of minutes. Wayne began to worry about his toes falling off like loose ice cubes inside his boots. Then his radio crackled to life. "Stand ready," the CO told the unit. "We're going to open the package." The sun vanished completely behind the horizon. The dark came down like a sudden rain. Wayne switched his scope to night vision and checked on the wolf pack again, and nearly jumped back. One of the Serbs was staring right up into the window, as if he could see him there. Impossible. He was totally concealed. The Serb would have to be able to see in the dark. He looked back through the scope. The Serb was still staring. Had to be a coincidence. People stare at things, look around aimlessly when they're bored. It didn't mean anything. Then the man made a gun with his thumb and forefinger and pointed it directly at Wayne, and winked. Wayne's finger twitched involuntarily on the trigger because every instinct he had screamed to kill the man. Despite the cold, Wayne started to sweat. The man moved out of the range of the scope. Wayne dialed back the magnification quickly to get a view of the whole courtyard. Another man was being dragged by two of the Serbs. He was dressed in all-black Special Forces fatigues without insignia, the kind the spooks loved to wear, even in broad daylight in the desert when the temperature got above 120 degrees. Then they bitched about how the dust and sand got all over the neat creases in their clothes. Some covert ops cowboy, and they'd have to bail his ass out. Still, Wayne wondered, where did he come from? They had the area staked out a mile in every direction, and he'd never seen the guy arrive. Sure, he could have missed it, but there would have been some radio chat or something. He shoved the thoughts away, along with the cold and the fear that seized him a moment before. It all vanished as he went through his pre-shoot rituals. The world narrowed to the field of focus through his scope. It was comforting. The Serbs kicked the operative to the ground. Wayne winced. That looked like it hurt. But the man didn't. He didn't even seem bothered. Or scared. He was dragged up and then kicked down again, made to kneel before the leader of the wolf pack.